Alright, so let's see, make sure it's working good. Yeah, I already filmed an intro and the darn thing cut out on me. But anyways, howdy y'all. Pyrex is here. Thank you for joining me today on this little adventure. I'm on my sixth annual traditional Paw Paw hunt. I'm here at, as you can see, the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal National Historical Park at the Paw Paw Tunnel. It's along the old towpath trail that goes from Cumberland all the way to DC, I believe. And from Cumberland to Pittsburgh, it's called the Gap Trail, the Great Allegheny Passage. But I've been coming here, this is year 6, and it's technically in Maryland. On the other side of the river, just to my left here, is West Virginia. And we're just north of Paw Paw, West Virginia, here at the Paw Paw Tunnel parking lot, along the Paw Paw bends of the Potomac River. So what better place to look for Paw Paws than here? Anyways, just wanted to, film a little intro here. It's going to be about a quarter of a mile to the tunnel itself, which, it's about a third of a mile long, I think. It's over 1,000 feet. Hopefully it won't be blocked off like it was last year, so I won't have to go over the mountain instead of through the tunnel. So, but I know you're probably wondering, some of you, what are Paw Paws? Well, I can tell you that they are North America's largest native fruit, and they grow all the way from Ontario, Canada, all the way down to Florida, and I believe out into Kansas and Texas and that area. That they grow on the other side of the Rockies a bit, but they're native to the East Coast mostly. And like I said, most people don't know what they are. You won't find them in stores because they don't keep very well once they fall off the tree, which is when they're ripe. Then they last like maybe 2-3 days, so you might find them at farmers markets back here, but you're not going to find them in grocery stores unless some local person has some kind of deal with their local grocery store. But yeah, I'll be showing you what they look like later, what the trees look like, and I hope you enjoy this edition. So thanks. I'll be turning back on when we get at least to a patch of the trees. There's a few around here, but you have to kind of go down a ways down the trail before you get to the real big patches. So alrighty, see you in a bit. Okay, so I'm still in the parking area. Actually, I'm in the picnic area campground, you can see behind me. And down here's the Potomac River. You can see there. And right here is like one of the first nice little patches of Paw Paw trees. So you can see here how they're not very big, but they have these really big leaves, really big, beautiful leaves. I know a previous video I had shown a Paw Paw patch, but this is a little more specific, so just in case anyone didn't see that, I'm going to detail a little more. They can get 30 feet. They don't usually get very big around at the base. Some have been known to get about 12 inches or so, but they're usually an understory tree. They don't usually grow in full sunlight. They like to grow under the canopy of other trees. They can grow in full sunlight. In fact, when they do, they produce a lot more fruit, and they get a lot bushier. These, you can see, they're tall and spindly, but and you can see actually here, we've actually got a little Paw Paw cluster right here. Nice, good size here. These aren't ripe yet; they're still kind of hard. In order to pick Paw Paws, you either just pick them up off the ground, if there are any. When they're ripe, they fall naturally. Or you just give the tree a light little shake. Not a hard shake, because, you don't want to knock the unripe fruits off, because they're not the kind of fruit that will actually ripen if you pick them when they're green. So you want to make sure that they ripen on the tree. I mean, some people say that they will ripen over time. But yeah, I've never had any luck with that. They usually don't taste anywhere near as good if you do it that way. But yeah, they tend to grow in patches, because they are a clonal, tree. So, they send up root suckers, and they don't transplant well. So, you know, you definitely want to grow them either from seed or buy seedlings from a local, oh, there's a nice big cluster up there. Whoops, there went one just rolling down the hill. Yeah, but yeah, you can actually find them online at several different nurseries and stuff, or you might even be able to get, in some places, go to your local nurseries. Here's one right here, and this one's actually ripe. This one's not very big, but it's actually ripe. I didn't have to shake the tree for this one. Now, what they look like inside, for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to split this one. You can see it's got like a yellow, orangish yellow, custard-like thing and you see those black seeds in there. You don't eat the skins, you don't eat the seeds, but I'm going to have my first taste of Paw Paw this year. Oh yeah. You see how those black seeds in there. But it's a very tropical tasting fruit. It kind of tastes like a combination of banana. This one particularly has a vanilla note to it. Slight mango. This particular one is not as tropical as a lot of the other ones I've tasted, but it still has that little tropical overtones to it. Mostly it's more like a banana vanilla custard. At least this one. Bugs, get out of my face. Let me take another taste. Yeah, it definitely has that distinctive Paw Paw flavor, but yeah, this is very mellow, very mild. You can just suck the pulp right off the seeds, but it is very tasty. They're actually very nutritious, actually, too, and there are studies that are researching into the possible anti-cancer effects of the Paw Paw plant, the Paw Paw tree and fruit. So that's basically what the fruit looks like, the trees look like, and we're going to get down here to the tunnel, because this is only the first patch, and there's not as many here between here and the Paw Paw tunnel itself. It's on the other side of the tunnel that they really just start lining the whole river. And there's a couple of patches down there where I found that they are huge fruits on them. These are just kind of average, and I usually just come here every year to get some seed stock mostly, because these are generally some really good fruits. And I believe that the Potomac cultivar of Paw Paws that they sell online and at various, Peterson Paw Paws, I believe that they came along from somewhere from along the Paw Paw bends here on the Potomac River. All right, so next stop is going to be the Paw Paw tunnel itself. All right, I know I said I was going to, start again whenever I hit the tunnel, but I actually just thought, this is the little detour. It goes over the actual, looks like they're just still doing construction. Hopefully I won't have to take this route and go over the mountain. That's a hike, let me tell you. But this is the old canal itself. It's only got a little bit of water in here. Most parts of it don't have water anyways. But back in the old days, when the railroads were just starting to really take off too and everything, this was one of the primary ways of transporting goods across the country. They built these canals. And like I said, this one goes all the way from Cumberland all the way to DC, I believe. And if you wanted to ship goods, like if you wanted to ship, say coal from this area down to the more populated areas down there near the coast, then this is how you would do it. You'd have these big barges that went up and down these canals, and on the path up here that I just walked down from, a mule would be hitched to your, with a long pole and ropes and a pulley system, and these trees wouldn't have been here back in those days. And yeah, the mules would just like tow the barges right down, all the way from Cumberland all the way down to DC. Now, the reason why I wanted to actually restart the video here is because This is how this is a little detour, and it's actually got a lot of nice little pawpaw trees in here that produce a lot of fruit. They're not the biggest fruit, but they're flavorful, they're good, and they're pretty prolific in this area. But this one here doesn't look like it has much, but then it is right next to the trail, so it does seem to have some grapes growing on it though. Nice little grapevines here, you see, with some grapes up there. There we go, see? A little too high for me to reach, but we're gonna walk right up the trail here just this little bit to this first patch, because every year I come here, this first patch generally tends to have tons of fruit on it. I don't know why, it's just very prolific. It must be a cluster of 2 or 3 different genomes, because although these trees are clonal, they need 2 different genetic varieties to produce fruit. There are some that are self-fertile, but yeah, generally they need 2 different varieties. Now you can see there's a little patch over there, and I can see some fruit hanging down. But here's this first tiny little patch, and already I can see tons of fruit. Like right here, there's a nice little cluster right there next to the ground. Whoops, hello. Darn rose bushes. Here's another nice little cluster up here. You can see those fruits. And here's 2 little tiny ones, and then another little cluster there. But like I said, for such a small patch, this particular little patch produces quite a bit of fruit. Traditionally, anyways, in the 2 years I've been coming here. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to gather any fruit from here, though. I just kind of wanted to look it over and see if it was holding true to its usual production. I see several more little clusters back there. I'm going to try to focus on getting the larger fruit today that are down farther down along the bends, because the fruit that I showed you with that last little clip, that the ones that are down there are like 3 times that size. They're like huge. So I want to try to limit myself to the seed stock from larger fruit if I can. See if I can get some larger fruit to grow. Okay, now next time I promise it will be the tunnel that we'll stop at. Alrighty, here we are at the tunnel. As you can see, it's behind me there, but it's also nice because they have the usual little information post signs here. You can read all against the, see, these are the Paw Paw bends here, and then like I said, instead of building the canals like around it where all these hills are, I guess they just decided to go through the one hill, and we're over here. Yeah, so I don't know exactly why I could read it, but that'd take too much time. And there were, of course, all kinds of troubles with building the tunnel. It took longer than it was expected and all that kind of stuff. Now this trail here, this goes up and over the hill, which you can see is pretty big, pretty steep. And I've had to take that trail last time I did because I couldn't go through the tunnel, which is flat and level. So hopefully the other end is open. There's no signs here saying that it's closed. So hopefully it's going to be all the way through. But this is one little area that it still has some water in it. A lot of it is because inside of the tunnel there's like constant water dripping, you know, like some sort of spring in between these rocks. But yeah, obviously they've been doing some kind of construction, and the water looks pretty darn filthy. They've probably been shoring it up with concrete. There used to be fish in here and everything, but I don't know, I kind of doubt there is now with what's going on here. But yeah, you can actually take those stairs and just be on top of the tunnel, take pictures if you want. But like I said, it's about 1/3 of a mile through. I can see somebody in the center there with the light on. I didn't bring a flashlight. I don't think I'll need one, but I think you can see, well, I don't think you can see it. Maybe you can see the light at the other end there. But I'm going to go ahead and walk through, and when I get to the other end, then I'll go ahead and turn it back on again. Okay, well, I'm about halfway through, and all you can see is a little light at that far end, and then a little light at that far end. So blacker than pitch in here other than those two little dots, but yeah, it's like halfway through. Just thought I'd give you all the experience. I got the guardrail here to keep me from falling into the drink, and I got the wall next to me on the other side, so as long as I can see that light I can just walk along it. So well, once we get to the other end, then I'll turn her back on. Okay, well, let's see. We made it through the other side. We're on the boardwalk now. They've replaced all this boardwalk, and this is usually filled with water and everything, but they had to pump it out to get the trucks in here so that they could do what they're doing here. As you can see, this kind of rock definitely tends to slide and crumble and fall, so they've had to net it off, and they put all these posts in there to keep it solid, and just for safety's sake. So it doesn't look much different than the other side, but this side, like I said, does have the boardwalk. It smells like fresh lumber too, and this is usually, like I said, usually filled with water, and there's turtles and snakes and fish and everything all in here, which she said they're probably gonna restock it a little bit. They took a lot of the critters they could out, and it was nice of them to be considerate and concerned about the health of the wildlife. So they said they'll be putting them back. So anyways, I'm gonna go down. I'll turn it back on when we get down to some of the locks down there. All right, about I guess another quarter mile past the tunnel. This is you can see where the trail to the left that goes up over the tunnel. It's called the Tunnel Hill Trail or something like that, and the one on the right actually is just the flat one that goes right up to the tunnel and through. And yeah, so last time I was here I had to come down this trail here, and let me tell you, that's a hike. Oh my God, I was sweating to death, and there's parts where the tunnel, where the trail just gets like, where it'd be difficult for a mountain goat to walk on it. It's like, oh my, I can't imagine how people got their bikes through there, because it's like one wrong slip, one wrong slide, and you just take a dive, and it's like scary. But it's a beautiful view up there, I can tell you that much, because yeah, when one section up there, up on that trail, oh, it's just freaking gorgeous. You look down, you see the river meandering through the valley toward Paw Paw, West Virginia. Gorgeous up there. Now, I noticed that in this area where it's more rocky and everything, there's a lot more pine. Probably, I'm guessing these are Virginia pine. I'm not quite sure. I have trouble telling the pines, certain pines apart. Could be shortleaf pine, could be a mix of the two, but smells awesome. Oh my God, just walking through here, it's like all you smell is just an aromatic pine scent. So this is actually also where the construction starts and ends. So yeah, but up here farther, we're going to keep following the trail. It follows the canal. There's probably going to be some areas with water and turtles up here. Might run across some deer. Almost every time I come through, I see all kinds of wildlife. But I've already traveled, let's see, on this trail probably a little over a mile, and I got another mile and a half or so to go. So, but I'll be taking little clips of areas alongside. Like there's the locks up here that have some fish in them and stuff like that, and turtles swimming around, and a lot of different plants. And I did manage to bring my Peterson's field guide with me for trees and stuff, so just in case I come across something that I want to look up. I mean, I could look up these pines, but I don't know, I don't really see the point in it. I mean, they're pine trees, that's good enough for me. So all right, hope you're enjoying my little tour so far, getting into some nice little ferny areas up here on the hillside. So all right. Okay, here we are at the first lock. It's closer than I thought, because you could still see down the trail the sign there where I just did that other little clip, but stuff in the way I couldn't see it. But the whole purpose of these locks was for whenever you can see there's some water flow in there, and there's something swimming around down there. I know there's turtles and some fish in here. But the whole purpose of these locks is for whenever the canal changes elevation, they have to be able to drop the barges down as it gets closer to the coast, you know, and it's gradual and everything, but they used to have these, you can see these big slots here. This used to have some sort of mechanism that would raise and lower the water level so that the barges could come in and they could go from a higher elevation down to a lower elevation. So see all these ferns growing in there. There's even a pine tree growing in there. Oh my goodness. Like I said, it's amazing what nature does here. And I don't know if this bridge was, it was probably here whenever they you know, whenever they used to use this thing. We got some cattails down there and some arrowhead leaf, or arrowhead leaf vines or whatever. Real nice. And we got a nice little paw paw patch right there. First one after the first patch after the tunnel, because it's all rocky over there. I didn't see any over there. There used to be a couple right there in the ditch, but you know, everything's gone. They just stripped that whole thing out. But yeah, it's there's a lot of history. If anyone wants to do the research and look online, then it's just a nice nice place to come hike if you're ever in the area. You know, like I said, it's about a half an hour, 20 minutes to half an hour south of Cumberland. Can't remember the name of the road. I know it's off Industrial Boulevard is where I usually get off. And then part of my tradition is to on the way back under the overpass there at Cumberland is the historic district, and they got the Krabby Pig restaurant. It's a seafood and barbecue place, and that's where I'll be stopping on the way home because, hey, it's part of the tradition. Like I said, 6 years now, so, and hopefully many more years to come. And hopefully when I come back and, you know, like next year, a lot of this will be grown back. They'll be done with the construction, and yeah, that would be nice. I look forward to seeing how it changes. I mean, I've noticed some changes. Most of it looks all the same, but so this is lock 66. I think 66 means mile 66. So, all right, so we still, like I said, we still got about another mile or so to go down the trail here before we get to the really dense pawpaw patches. So, all right.